Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for October 7th, 2013. It's currently 9 a.m. and it's going to be a very stormy start to this week with the end of our very warm weather pattern and being replaced by a more, fall-like weather pattern for the rest of the week. But before we get to that point, we're going to deal with some strong to severe thunderstorms and some very strong wind gusts for this evening. Now, currently, we have areas of fog and low clouds along the coast. A lot of that's starting to break up and clear out, and it's being replaced by scattered cloud cover. We have winds from the southeast ranging anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour, and temperatures are already pushing into the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s throughout the rest of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. You can see where our warm front is, basically just along the northern portions of Connecticut. Right over northern Connecticut, it's 57 degrees, and just to the south, it's 67, about a 10-degree difference. Everyone's going to be in the warm air by the time we get to about 11 a.m. So if you are currently stuck in the 50s right now, don't worry, you're about to have a big jump in your temperatures over the next 2 hours. Now, between now and the approach of the cold front, you're going to experience over the northern mid-Atlantic temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, a breezy southeasterly wind, and widely scattered showers starting to pop up all over the place. And the reason why is because the atmosphere is starting to be lifted and it's becoming more increasingly unstable. On our surface map, you can see our cold front is clearly well defined with very much lower humidity, much dry air over the Ohio River Valley, and very humid air over the northern mid-Atlantic, with dew points pushing into the upper 60s, approaching 70 degrees, and with our temperatures again already pushing into the 70s. By the way, our temperatures right now should be what our high temperatures should be. So that kind of gives you an idea just how warm this air mass is ahead of this advancing cold front. Now, right now, the cold front is moving pretty quickly, but I'm going to show in just a moment why it should slow down just a bit to bring showers and strong to severe thunderstorms to the region through this evening's rush hour. Now, on the infrared satellite picture, you can see that cold front moving through. Now, notice how these waves are starting to develop along the cold front. That's a very important observation. It's telling us that the cold front is starting to fall under the influence of a lot of these strong disturbances, one of which is over the Ohio River Valley. You see our warm front lifting north and east, and that warm front will clear the the New York City metropolitan area by later this morning, and in its place will be a very humid air mass. On the water vapor satellite picture, there's a couple of features that I want to point out. One, this strong disturbance right here is causing the trough to become what's called negatively tilted. That's when the trough is oriented from basically southeast to northwest. And that's going to slow this cold front down this afternoon. So yes, it's moving quickly right now, but look for the cold front to slow down just a bit and allow those showers and thunderstorms really to pick up the instability in the atmosphere and start to really amp up for this afternoon and evening as they move through the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. This right here is what's left of Tropical Storm Karen. This is an important feature for this upcoming weekend. I'll show why in a moment. But you see how this disturbance is diving in here, starting to get a bit cut off from the rest of the 500 millibar pattern. This is going to be a very important feature as we head into this upcoming weekend. Let's call it the what's left of Karen, kind of just causing a little bit of problems for this upcoming weekend as it sits off the mid-Atlantic coast. Now, our radar currently is showing a wide swath of very heavy rainfall and a leading edge of some strong thunderstorms. They haven't reached severe levels yet, but I'm very concerned about this line, and I'm going to show you why right now. So this is the forecasted sounding at about, let's say about 1 p.m. Over central New Jersey. And this could cover everywhere from eastern Pennsylvania to Connecticut. And what I'm seeing here throughout the region is this significant instability in the atmosphere right here. Now, right along the surface, we're marginally stable. Okay, marginally unstable, should I say. And all that's needed is a little bit of lifting, which we're going to get. Then we have a very unstable and moisture saturated atmosphere up to 850 millibars. And this right here is a key observation because of the strong winds. See this triangle here? That means 50 knots. That's 50 knot winds. And so what's happening here is you're having moisture being lifted. That's what leads to our thunderstorms developing. And that moisture, as it cools, enters this area of dry air. Now, the rain cooled air obviously cools. It's heavier than the rest of the environment, and it slams down to the surface like a hammer, taking these strong winds with it. So what I'm concerned about here is that the leading edge of these thunderstorms will be capable of producing very strong wind gusts and potentially downburst wind gusts that could cause some significant damage. Also, this type of environment leads to what's called speed shear and could lead to some weak tornadoes as well over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan areas. I think, though, the primary threat here is straight line wind damage as this air, this rain cooled air that develops over between 700 millibars and 850 millibars, crashes towards the surface and basically transports all this fast moving air that's in the mid levels down towards the surface, creating some problems. Of course, also with all this moisture in the atmosphere, we're also going to be dealing with the potential for very heavy downpours. And this dry air that's in place at 500 millibars is an indication, cold dry air, should I say, is an indication that we'll also see some frequent lightning with these thunderstorms as well. So it looks like this afternoon and evening will be rather active. So when can we expect these thunderstorms? Well, earlier this morning I was thinking between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., but I'm going to expand that back a little bit more towards 3 p.m. through 9 p.m. from west to east. And I'm saying west to east because initially, as this cold front and as this line of showers and thunderstorms moves through, it'll be moving at a progressive rate. And then as they start to cross the Delaware River, they start to slow down a bit. They hang back a bit. So by this afternoon, we're going to be dealing with widespread showers and thunderstorms, and some of these thunderstorms will be severe and will be rather impressive with frequent lightning, heavy downpours, wind gusts over 50 miles per hour. Overall, the evening rush hour is just going to be a complete mess. And as you can see, this line, as it was moving pretty quickly, starts to slow down a bit by the evening hours. Now, if you're going out to the Jets game, I believe it's at the Meadowlands this evening, use some caution, especially if you're tailgating. There's going to be a lot of rain out there, unsettled weather conditions. The good news is that by the time the game starts, a lot of the worst of the severe weather will be starting to move off the Long Island, off Long Island, should I say, well off the New Jersey coast, cutting through eastern Connecticut. But we'll still have some showers lingering on through the game, so it's going to be a rather wet game, that is for sure. Could be a delay in the start of the game as well because of these thunderstorms. Then this cold front blows through, and by about 1 a.m., everyone's pretty much drying out and clearing out. But you can see what happens as this cold front slows down as the trough becomes negative. Now, once this cold front blows through, we actually dry out for the rest of the week. High pressure will be in control starting tomorrow, and that high pressure system shifts towards the Canadian Maritimes. And what that allows the region to do is basically remain cool. Look for temperatures starting tomorrow on through Friday to basically range in the mid to upper 60s for highs, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast for lows, mid to upper 40s over the interior. Dry conditions, cool conditions, very comfortable weather conditions. And then the remnants of Karen just kind of festers out here over the mid-Atlantic coast. And the interaction between that developing low and that strong high over the Canadian Maritimes is going to create some rather windy conditions along the New Jersey coast and over the region. So I think Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday will feature scattered showers rotating in from the Atlantic, winds from the east and northeast ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour in overcast conditions. Basically, a raw, wet weekend is going to be on the way for next weekend as the low pressure system sits off the coast and just kind of spins. And this is a very weak low pressure system, so I'm not expecting any widespread heavy rainfall right now. If the low pressure system shows signs of more development or the upper level feature starts to cut off a little bit more and produces a stronger upper level low, then we could be dealing with a little bit more of an impressive system. But right now, it just looks basically raw, unsettled, and rather uncomfortable for this upcoming weekend, with temperatures stuck in the mid to upper 60s, possibly lower to mid 60s right along the immediate coast. Windy and raw out. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. I'll have live coverage of the developing severe threat this afternoon on through this evening with constant updates and coverage. And of course, for you premium members, live coverage includes answering any questions you might have as far as specific locations and whatnot. As always, follow NYNJPA Weather for your latest weather updates, and of course, NYNJPA Weather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.